Arkansas just dropped its first game of the season, 38-31 to the BYU Cougars. Y'all don't need me to tell you that was an extremely tough pill to swallow, but hats off to Coach Kalani Sitake and his Cougars. I knew they had the ability to pull this off, but I honestly did not think that they would. However, they obviously did. So once again, a lot of respect for Coach Kalani Sitake and his boys, and I genuinely believe that coaching was the difference in the game, especially when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. I don't want to be too critical before going back and actually slowing down and rewatching the game, but our personnel usage was pretty disappointing in my opinion tonight. I mean, you got one situation on a 4th and 1. You bring in your smallest back, Rashad Dubinion, to run the football rather than letting KJ or maybe Dominique Johnson, your biggest back, carry it. And then on a 3rd and 5 or 6, you bring in your biggest back, Dominique Johnson, to run a flare route out of the backfield. Like, to me, that just doesn't make any sense, objectively speaking. Then you got Luke Hawes, who had like 3 catches for 50-plus yards or so and a touchdown in the first half. You went to him once in the second half in a critical 4th down conversion, I believe it was. And once again, I don't want to be too critical. I couldn't even see what was happening on the back end. A lot of plays, especially watching it live, but it did appear KJ was a bit too indecisive with the football. It appeared he was struggling to scan the field and go through his progressions. If nothing else, once again, give credit to the Cougars defense for being able to get pressure and speed KJ up mentally. He just seemed a bit more finicky in the pocket tonight, even when he had time to throw or make the decision to tuck it and run. Defensively, overall, I honestly thought we played pretty solid despite the 38 points given up. They weren't without fault. They had some mental lapses. They had some missed assignments. Obviously, got hit with the trick play early. They took advantage of our speed and aggressiveness. I can understand that. But when you have a guy like Match Fletcher, who coming into this game had been pretty consistent to us, shanks a few punts, puts our defense in terrible field position. Offensively, you're struggling to even get first downs and sustain some drives. That just makes it tough on the defense, plain and simple. I mean, honestly, if this was last year's Arkansas defense, they probably hang 77 on us. The talent of the Cougars offense can't be ignored. So I think it's fair to say that the defense did its job. They held their own. However, the same cannot be said for the offense and special teams. Absolutely have to get better play out of both those units. But you know, the bright side is I honestly believe they can. I honestly believe we have the talent to compete in the SEC, especially during a season when there's no clear juggernaut in the West or really across any of college football. You could say Georgia's the closest thing, and even they didn't look dominant against what some would call a middle-of-the-pack South Carolina team. But, as I alluded to at the beginning, I think we've got to do a better job of putting them in positions to have success, especially and mainly on the offensive side of the football. And this loss is certainly going to cause me to reevaluate my overall expectations for the season. But, once again, I say but. Something I absolutely want to say before I finish this video is do not give up on this football team. They have the talent. They have the potential. It did not show up on the field like I thought it should have tonight, but that's something for the coaches to work out amongst themselves. The point is, there's still a lot of football to be played in a wide open SEC West, and this team needs our continued love and support. I'll leave it there, guys. Obviously a disappointing night, but remember, regardless if you're a fan, you're a player, you're a coach, whoever you are, regardless your circumstances or situations, God is good and He is faithful to work all things, victories and defeats, for your ultimate good. Don't go to bed angry, brothers and sisters, over something that ultimately in the grand schemes of life is petty. Let God's love and peace be with you as you lie your heads down tonight. Thank y'all for y'all's support. Thank y'all for y'all's time. And of course, go Hogs!